What's up? Today we are reacting to top 10 most hated countries in the world.
A video very controversial.
Yep, so let's see what you guys tell us, what you guys say, if you agree with the list or not. Let's go.
Come back to the world according to Briggs and a list about the most hated countries on the planet. Yeah,
Oh my
people
goodness.
hate different countries. Several different organizations do different surveys on what country is the
I feel like we're gonna see Germany here, cause people still
of
vote
the
for this.
yeah.
or disliked on the planet. The Reputation Institute, Pew Research, does this thing called Attitude Towards Different Countries. I looked at all the different surveys that I could find, and I came up with a list of countries that most frequently show up on these studies, or surveys, whatever you want to call them. There are a lot of different reasons people
wow, this is
from
actually
other
real in some
countries may
places.
hate another
I mean,
country.
there are places
It
like
could
this, but I
be
think that
things
was the
that
graphics.
happened in the past or now. It could be for economic reasons or military reasons.
Military reason,
whatever
okay, that
reasons
makes sense.
people hate. It's just a fact. This is a very interesting list. I
feel
found
like we're
some
gonna
on
see Russia
lists.
here as well.
They really haven't done
If they-
anything
if they-
horrible in
I don't think
decades,
it's recent.
but
It's not-
people hate
it's
them
not
going
recent.
back hundreds and hundreds of years. It's really strange.
Why are you burning
Alright,
tires?
Let's see what people say are the most hated countries. Number 10, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is an oil-rich country
wonder
in
why
the
people
Persian
say-
Gulf. Everyone's heard of Saudi Arabia. This place
Like
is
I feel like
highly-
Saudi don't bother nobody.
Exactly.
Like
yeah,
they don't
they're
bother
just there
them.
on
They're
their
just
own.
there. They're rich. They pay their people. It's people that even come to their countries to like.
dominated by religious laws and go all the way to medieval punishments like stoning, lashing, amputation for
Yeah,
thieves.
I've read about this one.
Women really get a raw deal here too, with lack of most freedoms that we take for granted
Yeah,
here in the
true.
United States that are just part of our normal life. I was reading some of their laws and thinking, why would they stop a woman from doing that? One of their laws that just baffled me, which I knew about it for a long time, I just thought was strange, started reading about it, was women, when they go outside the home, have to cover themselves from head to toe, including their
Yeah.
faces. And they're not allowed to go anyplace alone. They have to take a male relative with them. Could be a brother,
What?
could be their husband, whatever. I'm sure that gets old quick for both the woman and her brother, who every time she's got to go to the store, you know, or if her husband's working, she's got to call her loser brother to come over and escort
Loser
her to
brother.
the store. They got a whole bunch of other reasons that rub outsiders the wrong way here, and that's what gets them on lists like this. Most tourists will tell you that to stay away from this place because it's kind of boring to visit.
I mean, I would guess that.
Wow.
Number
That's-
9, Turkey.
Okay.
Why do people? Wait,
Why-
why would people in Turkey now? Like I see a lot of tourists in Turkey.
Turkey has had a love-hate relationship with the world for centuries.
Yeah.
Turkish people are great. I know a few of them. All of them are wonderful people. What's putting them on the list, according to several sources, is their current government. And
Erdogan?
actually, their
Erdogan.
past government when they were the Ottomans. When you go way back, Turkey is
history.
hated because of the Armenian genocide. The massacre was carried out by the Ottoman Empire and resulted in the deaths of 1.5 million
Damn!
Armenians, mostly.
Oh,
you don't know
yeah,
the Ottoman...
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
still
this one.
denied till today, though. Many Turks still deny that it wasn't done. I don't know.
Empire, it's probably because you're from the United
That's
States.
why Angie's always scared of saying she's Armenian.
We kind of just brush over it in our world history, but the Ottoman Empire was basically big in this area, and it all came from Turkey. And I just totally broad brushed that again, but that's give you the idea what's going on there. Although the massacre is widely known, it is still denied
Yeah,
by
I
the
told you,
Turkish government.
they still
It's like
deny it.
they know it happened, everyone else knows it happened, but if they don't admit it, it didn't happen. Weird. Number 8, Iran.
Yeah,
I
I
know
know
many
we're gonna see
Persians.
love.
I've worked in Beverly Hills for a lot of
Muslim
years, and
countries,
it's filled to the brim with Persians. Like Turkey, the people are kind, decent,
Yeah,
very
Iranians
smart,
are
and
actually
friendly.
really, really
Yeah,
nice.
all the
Really
Iranians,
nice
all the
people.
Iranians I've
really
met.
nice.
I've met like 10.
Literally
at
all
least.
of them.
It's their government. It supports
their government.
terrorism around the world, has
True.
horrible human rights record, keeps threatening the world with nukes, and
Yeah.
it likes
I
to
remember
piss
when
off the
Iran
most
threatened the USA.
US.
God, this was funny though.
powerful nations on the planet. The people are great though, and it's not just the United States they like rubbing the wrong way. Everyone. You're a major power in this world. Iran's gotten under your skin at some point.
I wonder has no one touched them yet.
Number 7, India.
India.
If any country excels in discrimination, it's India.
Yeah, India.
This is one of the main
fuck,
reasons people hate this place. The Indians believe that hating you for your color, race, gender is perfectly a normal
God,
thing. Now,
wow.
I'm not saying
To be honest, I thought Nigeria was bad though.
People live here. Oh my god.
In all of them, this is just a general field. I'm sure you could run into a lot of really nice Indians. This, as you can imagine, puts a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, and it kind of keeps them away from visiting India. The country isn't safe, especially for women.
Yeah,
They are cracking
there are a
down
lot
on
of
this,
rape
but
cases in
it isn't
this
terribly
country.
rare to find out that some woman was attacked by a group of men. For a while there, it seemed to be happening like every
my
week.
God.
I mean, brutal stuff too. Not like touching on the bus or something like that. It was ugly. On top of that, they aren't the best neighbors to other countries around them. They have a really bad reputation for that.
It's crazy how see look at the
Just
building.
next to this place.
Like what's going on?
That's
See these
weird.
buildings and with
I
wow.
think all these buildings are like under construction.
Yeah.
You get that,
Look at the
literally
cranes and all that.
cranes and everything. How do cranes get there?
That's I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you're an engineering student, you should know.
I'm not a civil engineer, bro. even the department I have.
But this is weird. Guys, please help me, like, because I know when they build another floor, they have to move it up, right, again. Ah, man.
Their countries
I
around
think
them,
there's
they have a
Superman
really
somewhere that carries
bad reputation for that. Number 6, the United Kingdom.
Okay,
The
history.
conquerors of all.
Yeah, history wise, yeah.
Believe it or
Is there a
not,
continent
the
these guys
United Kingdom
do?
is hated by a lot of people, and it's not so much as what's going on now. It's
Yeah.
they have a terrible past.
Yeah.
It's thought by
Horrible
many
past.
around the world that the UK is extremely
Greedy,
greedy,
yeah.
and it ruled about a quarter of the earth at one point.
Damn.
It was one of the first in the world to bring in a slavery system. It encouraged civil wars, oppressed and looted many countries, and is
that
responsible for
loots,
the
yeah.
division and destruction
me,
of
the
several
best,
countries
those
in
loots,
different
loots, loots,
continents around the world, and still involved in most of the major wars that happen on the planet. But if you go way back, I mean, look at anything to do with history, especially here in the United States, you could tell England was they were kind of a-holes. And the arrogance they had back in the day about it was just incredible. One of the best scenes, there's a movie called Last of the Mohicans, and Daniel Day-Lewis is just like this scout woodsman, and this British officer, he saves him. And then he's all, how is it you came across this war party of Native Americans that were
That's Big
attacking the
Ben,
British? And he goes, well, we were heading to Kentucky. He's all, why are you heading to Kentucky? All of our scouts are heading to someplace else. And he goes, well, I ain't one of your scouts. And he just, the British officer's demeanor was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I'm just not doing that stuff. Great movie, though. One of the reports I read, there's a big problem with the British. Obviously, they were in India for a very long time.
This
And
guy
I don't
making it
know all
look
the
like
ins
it's
and outs
a
of it, but it
podcast.
seems very interesting, but it's
They
a
just
little more
put
time
pictures on the
consuming than I want to
podcast
get
or
into. They say the UK destroyed India and ruined its education system.
Yeah.
What did they do? Like steal all the teachers? What went on there? I got to read about that.
Wow.
Number 5,
China.
China has a lot of people, and they
What?
execute a staggering amount of them. They have forced labor camps, ugly
Yeah, the
history,
labor
and
camps,
cheap
yeah, yeah.
exports. They've been accused of currency manipulation and have decided that the island of Taiwan belongs to them. There's always something going on between those two. Some of their low-cost products include medicine and food. On a few occasions, they've decided to use materials that are less expensive so they could drive up
Okay, cheap,
profits, make the
what's it
product
called?
cheaper. The downside is this has caused some deaths. That type of thing has gone on for decades with them. So many times they found out some toy that was inspected before, all of a sudden they switched it out to having lead-based paint or something like that because it's cheaper on a kid's toy.
On a
As you
kid's
can
toy.
imagine, all those things have gotten them on this list.
Wow.
Number 4,
Israel.
The Israeli people and the Palestinian people have been going at each other's
Yeah.
throats for decades
Israel
and
and
decades.
Palestine.
They fire rockets at each other from across the border. The politics and the
Wow, this is
drama that
Israel.
has gone on here for, like I said, decades and decades is just far too complicated to cover in a 10-minute video. But whenever you have warring neighbors, the one that's usually doing the most damage
Is the
is
most
the more
hated.
powerful.
Well, it's like an
one that
island,
brings
though.
on a lot of hatred, and that's part of Israel's problem. I mean, there's a ton that goes into this,
See.
but basically
Yeah.
the war that they've had with the Palestinian people and the fact that they're
But
a
that's the
Jewish
war.
nation.
Basically,
But basically, the
No,
war
war,
that they've
okay,
had with
okay.
the Palestinian people,
I
and
thought
the
it was war
fact that they're a
separatist.
Jewish nation surrounded by Muslim nations probably doesn't help matters either.
wait, but I don't get though. How are they still like?
I swear.
How are they surviving?
How this is standing?
Number 3, Russia.
Russia.
Yeah, I was
has a
gonna
history
say.
of being aggressive to its neighbors, not just in military terms.
And this was
Economic,
before
hacking,
Ukraine.
The name is Iraq is
bunch
number
of
one.
countries to join the Soviet Union, and
Afghanistan.
before you say it,
Huh.
yes, some went willingly. At least the people in charge went willingly. It's really hard to find average Joes from the old Soviet Union that were on board with this whole operation. Russia likes to create conflicts between major nations of the world, which is designed to be beneficial to Russia. They like to kill people that disagree with them, no matter what country the person happens to be standing in. You know, like Russians go someplace else, they've been talking to the media bad about Russian government. Next thing you know, they've been poisoned with uranium or something weird like that. They're right now in the news because they have jailed an opposition leader that's been on a hunger strike. This isn't the first time they've done that either. All those things and some other things make Russia one of the most hated countries on the planet.
Damn.
Number 2. The United States of America. Yeah, you heard
Okay.
me. My country, our country, if you're watching from the United States, is the second most hated country in the world. Now, it's hard to believe if you're from the country, much like if you're from Russia, you're probably, wondering why people would hate Russia. That's just how things are. We're kind of designed to be that way. The United States of America is hated by many because of its vast military and economic power over the rest of the world. And that's just a fact. We've been involved in so many different conflicts which have just angered people from the areas and in the countries that the conflicts happened in. There are a lot of cases wondering why we got involved. You would probably have to go back to the Korean War and World War II to find
If
a
you lost
time
your
that
kid in
we
the
were
streets, that's all.
truly justified by going to war there, and the people are probably happy with it 90% of the time. I mean, the people from those countries. But considering we've been involved in all these conflicts, we are one of the wealthiest countries on the planet, and we have the largest military. It's hard not to be hated by third world countries because of that. There are so many other things for all these, really, not just the United States, but for all these countries, there's thousands of other reasons people might hate that country. And I'm sure we're going to see a lot of them in the comment section below. Keep in mind, before you tell me I forgot something or I didn't include something, this is a 10-minute video. I'm not going to get to everything. I'm just kind of giving you an idea. But it is a very interesting subject. It's worth doing some reading on. And before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. There is a link down, but number 1. And number 1.
North Korea.
North Korea. Who didn't see this one coming?
Me, I
When you
did.
put as much effort into hiding what is going on in your country as North Korea
swear.
does,
North
you
Korea
know
is
what's
mad.
going on isn't good. North Korea has been a big pain in the ass to everyone for a very long time.
Like,
We
there's
know they're
literally nothing out of North Korea.
We.
Like, there's literally no big person I know from there. No footballer.
I'll search this thing out.
People are starving, jailed, executed, they disappear in the middle of the night, and they're
No
subjected to an
no
insane
TikToker.
propaganda program. They're told that their leader
YouTuber.
doesn't have to use the restroom because he works so hard for the North Korean people that he burns off all the calories he takes in, so he never creates any waste. They also tell the people of North Korea that he has to take phone calls from other countries to solve problems that other countries can't figure out. They also have their own Netflix knockoff called Man Bang. I'm not kidding. It's called Man Bang.
Man
I don't
Bang.
even know how to explain they came up with that name, but it doesn't mean what it sounds like to Americans. I'm sure it's something different to them. This is a streaming service that has 3 channels, 2 of which are government news channels filled with nonsense, and 1 channel that shows government-approved movies.
Wow.
So, like,
This is-
the lives of North Koreans are, like, actually controlled. Because I had the guys too,
Oh
they
my
give
God.
them haircuts to.
Only.
They only
Those
have
who live
3
in the country
channels.
suffer from restrictions of freedom as their internet access is heavily censored, poor infrastructure, low standard of living, and the reason they're all poor and their infrastructure is crumbling is because they put all their money towards nuclear weapons. This is an obsession with the North Korean government. It threatens the
Wait, I'm
world
sorry,
with
like, is
nuclear
it just because of the present president? Or, I mean, like,
This is how it's been for like.
for decades, even before him, or, like, when he leaves?
war, like on a weekly basis. They have an aggressive attitude towards neighboring countries, and this has
South
caused
Korea.
them to be pretty much isolated from
Like,
the
bro,
rest of
see
the
how
world.
South Korea
and
is
people go on to believe that they're just totally evil.
thriving.
Which I'm sure the people are just fine. It's just their government is just whacked. The outside world
Wait, they have the
knows
same flag,
very
right?
little of
No.
what's going on in North Korea.
North
Every
Korea,
once
like,
in a while, we'll
red,
get someone that
blue,
defected
red.
over. They finally got out of the country, and they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
tell us horrible things.
Yeah,
I
people
remember
that are
there
able
was
to
this
get out.
soldier that jumped across the border not too long ago.
Wow.
He was starving. He had seeds from trees in his
Are
stomach
you
that he just couldn't
serious?
get enough food, so he was actually eating these big seeds that weren't digested, and it was kind of sad.
God damn. Wait, is that
Alright,
legal
that's
though?
Today's
Wow.
list. Hope you guys got
Like,
some
why is the world
information
not doing anything about that?
It sucks to be North Korean, man.
I swear.
I swear.
top 10 most hated countries in the world. I could understand that number one, like it was well deserved. I swear. And yeah, guys, that's it. Tell us what things you want us to react to. We'll see you next time.
Peace.